Ghost has some incredible damage potential, but that is not all that makes this champion so great. I was so excited to pull Ghost finally, but I had to put in a lot of work to start learning how to play this champion. Some of Ghost's basic abilities is that Ghost can get Furies off of the heavy attack with a 50% chance. One of the main benefits to Ghost is the ability to phase and miss all the attacks that are coming in so that you can get by some difficult to evade special attacks, or when awakened, get additional power. But this video, we're going to focus on how to play Ghost unawakened and without synergies. The main goal is to get them into the corner and then chain on as many heavy attacks as you can while building up to your special 2 to get some insane damage off of that special 2. The challenge is you have to start a phase and then quickly interrupt that with a special attack in order for all hits to be critical. However, that allows the defender to block the hits if you do not have Wasp for the synergy to make the special attacks unblockable. But we're going to talk about landing those special attacks later. The very first thing you need to practice with Ghost is phasing and how many hits you can take and when to decide to block or evade the final shots of a special attack, because sometimes you can phase the whole thing depending on the timing. You also need to practice the timing of when to attack into them so that you don't attack too late and get hit in the face. Each time you phase, you get a passive precision buff, which lasts 6 seconds, and if that is active, you cannot phase again, so you have to land a hit and use up that buff if you want to phase again. Phasing multiple hits of the basic attacks takes a lot more practice and is not as important with an unawakened Ghost, but when awakened, each hit will grant additional power, which can be very important. Another amazing attribute Ghost has is the ability to remove all damaging debuffs by phasing and convert them into a massive fury to get some huge damage. So if you run suicides, Ghost is a very friendly champion. Right at the start of the fight, you just phase and get rid of all the damaging debuffs. This also makes Ghost useful for bleed lanes, poison lanes, any sort of damaging debuff that you get at the start or from attacking into an opponent. Some other basics is that every non-critical hit has a chance to give a cruelty buff to increase your critical damage. The longer you charge your heavy attack, the more chance you have for the non-critical heavy attack hits to give a cruelty. Another nice thing about the passive precision that you get from phasing is that it reduces the opponent's chance to evade by 100%. Ghost also only lands critical hits through her abilities, so if you don't gain that precision buff, you can actually use Ghost in content that you don't want to crit. You always have to remember though that if you have that buff up, you cannot phase. Also, if you have an armor break applied to you, you will not be able to phase either. So you have to be very cautious about when you try to phase, and anytime you block or attack, you will stop phasing. Now we're going to get into the exciting part of Ghost, which is landing those special attacks to get huge numbers. Now, the way to get all hits to critical is you have to activate your special attack right before phasing. If you activate it a little bit late, you will not get all criticals on that attack. Also, if you've already phased and have the precision passive, and you dash back, you will not phase, so then launching the special attack will still not crit. But without the Wasp synergy, you can't just dash back and throw the special attack anytime because the attacks can still be blocked. But we have a few ways to get around that. So the main goal is to push the opponent into the corner so that you can chain on as many heavy attacks as possible to build up those furies, and it is a little bit luck based. But once you've got the power and the furies, you can hold block so that they go in to attack you and then dodge their next attack and immediately throw off the special 2. I like to dash back with my right thumb so I can very quickly tap the special attack with my left thumb. That will allow you to phase very quickly. Another more difficult option is to pause right after dashing in so that they go to attack you, and then you can dash back and throw that special 2 while they are exposed. If you can get your energy to the right spot and then bait out a special attack so that they have very little power, you can chain on up to 3 heavy attacks before they get a bar of power, and then you can bait out a hit and throw your heavy attack with even more furies. Another option is to use your precision passive and then parry their next hit so that you can dash back and throw your special 2 into the still stunned opponent. If you are in a matchup where you can get damaging debuffs, you can use that to your advantage by getting a couple of those turned into Furies right before you launch your special 2 attack that will significantly increase the damage that you will deal. And look at the damage that this hit does. We did a lot of overkill on that as well. So Ghost does take a lot of practice and is a very versatile champion, but once you put in some practice and get used to some of these mechanics, Ghost is a very rewarding champion to play, and you can reliably get off very high damage special 2 attacks after you put in some time practicing and becoming familiar with the champion. And this is Unawakened without Synergies, so straight out of the crystal. Now, Ghost has even more potential with Synergies. You can see with Ant-Man, Ghost gets 15% attack for each buff on Ghost, and Ghost can stack a lot of buffs. With the Wasp synergy, as we discussed, special attacks are unblockable when triggered while phasing. That allows you to get very easy special 2 attacks off without having to worry about the opponent being exposed. And then the Hood synergy allows Ghost to take no damage while phasing, so you can phase special 3 attacks and take no damage. You can also phase and avoid taking passive degeneration damage. This is amazing because Ghost can spend the vast majority of a fight while phased, which means that Ghost will avoid a lot of damage. And then if you have Wasp already, one of Wasp's synergies, if you have Ant-Man and Ghost together with Wasp, gives everybody 25% attack, which can also help to really scale up the damage that Ghost does. And all of these synergies we will highlight in another video when I break down the utility of an awakened Ghost as well as the benefit of all of these synergies. So keep an eye out on my channel if you are interested in that video, and I hope to see you in the next video.